Have you ever heard that eggs are one of the best sources of protein out there? Well, what if I told you there's a common, affordable food that actually has more protein than eggs, and it could be your secret weapon against muscle loss after 60? Yup, this food might be sitting in your fridge right now. And no, it's not some fancy powder or trendy superfood. It's real, whole food, and it has the potential to completely change how you age, starting today. You see, muscle loss doesn't just happen when you're older. It actually begins quietly in your 30s. It's called sarcopenia, a slow, steady decline in muscle mass and strength. And it's not just about looking fit or toned. Muscle loss affects everything: your metabolism, your balance, your blood sugar, and even your brain health. Most people don't realize how important lean muscle is. You could be eating healthy, going to the gym, getting good sleep, and still losing muscle. Why? Because it's not just about what you eat, it's about when and how you eat your protein. That's where this powerful food comes in. It's richer in leucine than eggs, and leucine is the amino acid that flips the switch on your body's muscle-building machinery. It activates something called the mTOR pathway, which is basically your body's internal signal to start repairing and growing muscle tissue. And here's the kicker: it's not a supplement or a protein bar. It's cottage cheese. Yes, cottage cheese. Surprised? You're not alone. But once you understand the science, it makes total sense. Let's start with the basics. A single large egg gives you about 6 grams of high-quality protein. Great, right? But half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese delivers about 14 grams of protein. That's more than 2 eggs worth in a single serving. Plus, the kind of protein it contains, casein, is slow digesting. And that's huge when it comes to overnight muscle maintenance. Here's why that matters: when you sleep, you're going 8 to 10 hours without food. That's a long time for your body to go without amino acids, the building blocks of protein. And if your body runs low, it might start breaking down your muscle tissue just to get what it needs, especially as you get older and more prone to sarcopenia. But casein digests slowly, like really slowly. It releases a steady stream of amino acids into your bloodstream for up to 7 hours. Think of it as a slow drip for your muscles while you sleep. That gentle trickle of fuel keeps your muscles nourished and protected all night long. Compare that to eggs, which are digested quickly. Eggs are perfect after a workout or first thing in the morning. But for overnight muscle protection? Casein has the upper hand. Don't just take my word for it. A 2012 study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise found that people who consumed 40 grams of casein before bed had significantly higher muscle protein synthesis overnight compared to those who didn't. A 2019 paper in Nutrients backed that up, especially highlighting the benefits for older adults. So, here's your first simple strategy: eat cottage cheese about 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Just half to 1 cup will do the trick. You'll get 14 to 28 grams of protein, mostly from slow-digesting casein. Want to make it tastier? Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, a few chopped walnuts, or a drizzle of honey. Now, if you're lactose intolerant, don't worry, many brands now make lactose-free cottage cheese. And if that's still a no-go for you, there are other slow-digesting options like casein protein isolate powders. The big takeaway? It's not just about the amount of protein you eat, it's about the type and the timing. Cottage cheese works because it's perfectly aligned with your body's natural rhythms and needs, especially at night. Let's take it a step further. Remember that mTOR switch I mentioned earlier? It's one of the most important systems in your body for building and maintaining muscle. But here's the thing: it doesn't stay on all the time. Especially as we age, it tends to stay in the off position unless we really give it a reason to activate. That's where leucine comes in. Leucine is a branched-chain amino acid, or BCAA, that tells your muscles, hey, it's time to grow. You need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a meal to hit that threshold and activate mTOR. Without enough leucine, even if you eat plenty of protein, your body might not respond the way you want. And guess what? 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese contains about 2.6 grams of leucine, just enough to flip that switch. It's not just about quantity, it's about quality. A meal with high leucine protein, like cottage cheese, can trigger up to 25% more muscle protein synthesis than a lower leucine meal, even if the total protein grams are the same. That's according to a study in the Journal of Nutrition from 2006. And the benefits go beyond building strength. A 2011 study in clinical nutrition found that leucine supplementation improved both muscle mass and strength in older adults even without exercise changes. That means you're still getting gains just by eating smarter. Here's a quick guide you can use today. Leucine Threshold Protocol. Aim for 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. That's about 1 cup of cottage cheese, 5 ounces of chicken breast, 2.5 scoops of most whey protein powders. And make sure to spread your protein-rich meals across the day. Don't just load up at dinner. Why does this matter? Because maintaining muscle isn't just about looking strong, it's about staying sharp, mobile, and independent. Muscle health is directly tied to your mental resilience, blood sugar stability, and even emotional well-being. Studies show that low muscle mass is linked to higher rates of cognitive decline and depression in older adults. But when you build and maintain lean muscle, you're supporting your brain too. This is the real power of protein, not just fueling your body, but protecting your mind. So, the next time you're planning dinner, or thinking about your nighttime snack, skip the chips or the late-night cereal. Reach for cottage cheese instead. It might just be the simplest, most powerful habit you can build for long-term strength. Let's dive deeper into something most people completely overlook: the timing of your protein intake. You might think, I eat plenty of protein, and that might be true. But when you eat, it matters just as much as how much you eat. This is especially important as we age. Your body doesn't build muscle 24/7. It works in rhythms, windows of time where it's primed for growth and repair. One of those windows is right after resistance exercise. The other is while you sleep. That's when your body is actively working to rebuild and strengthen your muscles. And here's the problem: most people eat very little protein at breakfast, a little more at lunch, and then pile most of it onto their dinner plate. Sounds familiar, right? But this lopsided pattern isn't doing your muscles any favors. A 2020 review in the Journal of Nutrition showed that uneven protein distribution actually leads to less muscle protein synthesis over time, even if your total daily protein is high. The key is to spread it out, getting roughly equal amounts of high-quality protein at each meal. And the science gets even more compelling when you look at what happens while you sleep. That's when your body releases growth hormone, repairs damaged tissue, consolidates memory, and yes, builds muscle. But only if you give it the fuel to do so. A 2015 study in Frontiers in Nutrition found that older adults who consumed protein right before bed increased overnight muscle protein synthesis by 22%. Over a 12-week period, this simple habit also led to significantly better strength gains. And it gets even better. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that participants who ate 30 to 40 grams of casein before bed gained more lean muscle mass even when their total daily protein was exactly the same as a control group who didn't have a nighttime protein feeding. This tells us something important: it's not just about the amount of protein, it's about when your body can use it best. So what does that look like in real life? Here's a simple tool you can start using today. 3 times protein distribution protocol. Aim for 20 to 40 grams of protein at each major meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Add a small pre-sleep protein feeding like 1 cup of cottage cheese or a 30g casein shake. Time your post-workout protein within 2 hours of exercise. Eat breakfast within 1 hour of waking to support your circadian rhythm and muscle metabolism. This approach supports not just muscle growth, but also better blood sugar control, dopamine production, and mental clarity throughout the day. Because here's the truth: muscle isn't built in the gym. It's built in the kitchen, and it's protected while you sleep. And muscle does so much more than help you lift things. It's actually one of the most important organs in your body when it comes to overall health, especially your brain. That's right, muscle is brain medicine. Let's break that down. Skeletal muscle is metabolically active tissue. It regulates blood sugar, helps balance hormones, and even affects brain function. When you activate your muscles, whether through weight training, walking, or even stretching, you're triggering the release of signaling proteins called myokines. One of the most powerful myokines is irisin. This molecule gets released during physical activity and travels through your bloodstream to your brain, where it stimulates something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. Think of BDNF as miracle-grow for your brain. It helps grow new neurons, strengthen connections between brain cells, and support learning, memory, and emotional regulation. So when you prioritize muscle by training it, feeding it, and protecting it, you're not just building strength. You're building resilience, clarity, and emotional stability. A 2022 study in neurology showed that higher midlife muscle mass was associated with a lower risk of dementia later in life, even after adjusting for other health and lifestyle factors. Another study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that low muscle mass in older adults was significantly linked to increased symptoms of depression, independent of how physically active they were. And here's where it gets even more interesting: muscle improves insulin sensitivity, helping you avoid the blood sugar crashes that lead to brain fog, fatigue, and poor mood regulation. It also reduces inflammation, specifically the chronic, low-grade kind known as inflammaging. This kind of inflammation is a major contributor to cognitive decline as we age. But resistance training, paired with high-quality protein like cottage cheese, has been shown to reduce key inflammatory markers like CRP and IL-6. So here's another strategy you can start using right away. Dual muscle-brain circuit. Eat protein-rich meals spaced evenly throughout the day, including a slow-digesting protein before bed. Strength train 2 to 4 times a week. Bodyweight, bands, or weights all work. Walk 7,000 to 10,000 steps daily to keep myokines flowing. Prioritize sleep and hydration, they're essential for both muscle repair and cognitive function. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about protein speed. Not all proteins are created equal, not just in their amino acid profiles, but in how fast or slow they digest. And that digestion speed can make or break your muscle preservation efforts, especially during fasting periods like sleep or long workdays. Fast-digesting proteins like whey and eggs are absorbed quickly. That's great right after a workout, when your muscles are like sponges, ready to soak up nutrients. But that quick spike is short-lived. Within a couple of hours, it's gone. Slow-digesting proteins like casein, on the other hand, release amino acids steadily over 6 to 8 hours. That creates a gentle, long-lasting anabolic effect, exactly what your body needs when you're not eating, like during the night or a long stretch between meals. A groundbreaking 1997 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared whey and casein protein directly. It found that whey led to a fast spike in amino acid levels, but it faded quickly. Casein, meanwhile, provided a moderate but sustained release, and significantly reduced muscle breakdown over time. And that's exactly what you want overnight. Think about it this way: if you eat dinner at 7 p.m. and don't have breakfast until 9 a.m., you've gone 14 hours without food. That's a long time for your muscles to go without fuel, especially if you're not hitting your leucine targets or spacing your protein evenly. This is why a small snack before bed, like a cup of cottage cheese or a casein shake, can make such a powerful difference. It acts like an insurance policy for your muscle mass. Want to get even more out of it? Add a small amount of healthy fat or fiber, like walnuts or chia seeds. This slows digestion even further and keeps you feeling full and satisfied. Here's your third actionable tool. Digestive strategy for muscle maintenance. Use fast-digesting proteins like eggs or chicken post-workout or first thing in the morning. Use slow-digesting proteins like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt before bed or during long fasts. Pair slow proteins with a bit of fat or fiber for enhanced absorption and satiety. Simple changes, timing, type, and frequency can dramatically shift the way your body builds and holds onto muscle. By now, you understand the why behind preserving muscle as we age. But let's bring it all together with a complete, easy-to-follow daily strategy so you can turn this science into real results. Starting in your 30s, muscle loss begins slowly at first, then accelerating after age 60. On average, we lose about 3% to 8% of muscle mass every decade. That's not just a cosmetic concern. It's tied to reduced strength, slower metabolism, higher risk of falls and fractures, and even cognitive decline. But here's the good news: it doesn't have to be this way. You can reverse muscle loss with a smart, consistent daily approach. Not with punishing workouts or expensive supplements, but with habits that align with your body's biology. Let's break it down. The Daily Strength Protocol. Protein timing: 3 to 4 feedings per day. Eat 30 to 40 grams of high-quality protein at each meal, spaced across 3 to 4 meals. Prioritize complete proteins. These are foods that contain all 9 essential amino acids. Focus on options like eggs, poultry, fish, Greek yogurt, whey, and of course, cottage cheese. Pre-sleep protein: casein is king. Have 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese or a 30 g casein shake 30 to 60 minutes before bed. This slow-digesting protein keeps your muscles fueled while you sleep. It supports repair, reduces overnight breakdown, and improves morning strength. Leucine-centered meals. Aim for 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to trigger mTOR and muscle protein synthesis. How to hit that? 1 cup of cottage cheese equals 2.6 g leucine. 5-ounce chicken breast equals 2.5 g leucine. 2.5 scoops whey equals 3 g leucine. Leucine is the signal. Without it, you can eat all the protein you want and still struggle to build or preserve muscle. Resistance training: 3 to 4 times per week. Lift weights, use resistance bands, or do bodyweight movements like squats and push-ups. Focus on compound movements, exercises that work multiple muscles at once. Think lunges, rows, deadlifts. Train to near fatigue, but don't overdo it. Consistency beats intensity over the long haul. Daily movement matters. Walk 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day. If that feels overwhelming, aim for at least 30 minutes of light movement. You can also sprinkle in short bursts of intensity like stair climbs or hill walks to boost muscle signaling and cardiovascular health. Sleep optimization. Get 7 to 9 hours of high-quality sleep. Wind down with low light 60 minutes before bed, no screens, no bright lights. If you struggle to fall asleep, consider magnesium glycinate or breathwork. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times to align with your circadian rhythm. Avoid the common muscle saboteurs. Cut back on ultra-processed foods, they're inflammatory and low in nutrients. Minimize alcohol, it interferes with muscle repair and sleep quality. Don't go long periods without movement. Inactivity accelerates sarcopenia. Don't over-rely on cardio. Balance is key. Strength training should be your foundation. Reduce chronic stress. High cortisol levels break down muscle and increase inflammation. Take small breaks throughout the day to breathe, walk, or stretch. Practice mindfulness, journaling, or gratitude, whatever helps you regulate your nervous system. The big idea here isn't perfection, it's alignment. You don't need to count every gram of protein or spend hours in the gym. But you do need to consistently give your body the signals and materials it needs to protect your muscle. Because muscle isn't just about moving your body, it's what lifts you out of a chair, stabilizes your joints, regulates your blood sugar, and protects your brain. And you don't lose muscle because you're getting older. You lose muscle because your body no longer has a reason or the right resources to hold on to it. Now, you do. Let's recap the key takeaways. Cottage cheese is a powerful, natural food for preserving muscle. It has more protein than eggs, and its slow-digesting casein makes it ideal for nighttime repair. Leucine is the critical amino acid that triggers mTOR, the switch that tells your body to start building muscle. Cottage cheese delivers just the right amount per serving. Protein timing is everything. Spread protein-rich meals across the day, and include a slow-digesting source before bed. That's when your body does its deepest repair work. Muscle is brain health. It reduces inflammation, stabilizes blood sugar, improves mood, and releases molecules like BDNF that protect your memory and cognition. Movement isn't optional. Resistance training, walking, and daily activity create a cascade of muscle and brain-boosting benefits. Start small. Stay consistent. Your protocol doesn't have to be extreme. It just has to be intentional. Your daily routine should nourish the systems that keep you strong, steady, and sharp as you age. We started this journey with a simple question: is there a food that has more protein than eggs? And we found out that yes, cottage cheese is not only higher in protein, but uniquely powerful for preserving muscle at night, when your body needs it most. But along the way, we uncovered something bigger. This wasn't just about protein. It was about preserving your capacity to move, to think, to feel confident and independent no matter your age. You now have the tools. Not from hype or trends, but from real, grounded science. And it all starts with a few simple changes to how you eat, move, and recover. If this video helped you, go ahead and hit the like button, it really supports the channel. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another episode. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know, what's one habit you're going to start today to support your muscle and brain health? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.